Hi, everyone. My name is Julia,
And I'm Katie.
and we're the hosts of the Runways and Byways travel podcast. So today we're going to be talking about Lake George. So we mentioned Katie was going there on our last episode, and now she's gone there with Michael and she wants to talk all about it. And I'm excited to hear because Katie and I had gone to Lake George a couple of years ago in the winter. And as you'd probably imagine, it's very different in the winter than it is in the summer. I went in the summer a long time ago, but I don't really remember it. So I want to hear what you have to say about it. And we did also mention we're going to be having an Italy episode coming out. That is going to be probably next episode, but I make no promises. We're trying to get Michael on. Michael's been sick for a while.
It's so funny because he literally actually has, like, I was on the phone with him. He was like sick. I don't know, but he's not like that sick, but he's not like deathly ill. So I don't know. Don't get too worried.
Always seems to be the case with him.
Yeah, he's like always sick when we have to do podcast, but hopefully he does want to be here, but obviously not that bad.
Yeah, I don't know about that anymore.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, worst case, if we can't get Michael and he's still sick 2 weeks from now, then we will probably have the episode without him at some point because we just can't keep stringing you along forever.
Yeah.
But keep in mind that's coming up, so stay tuned. And yes, today we're going to be talking about Lake George. So, Katie, do you want to start things off or a trivia question, or do you have anything to say?
I guess just to start it off, yeah, so Julie and I, we did go to Lake George a few years ago, but it was during the winter and it was obviously very, very different. I would obviously recommend it for the summer, but at the same time, I felt like it was very similar going with you and going with him because I truly do believe that when it comes to traveling, to have a good trip, it's the company that you keep. And you and Michael are just both so fun to be around. And you're actually kind of similar in the things that, I mean, I'm also the common denominator, but we're so similar in the things that we like to do and how much fun we like to have. So it actually like obviously is different, but it was also very similar.
So it sounds like you had a good trip because I know we had a good trip, even though there wasn't too much to do. We made fun out of nothing.
I feel like very similar. So I would say as much fun as we had on Lake George, Michael and I pretty much like had that much fun. Not in
Wow.
terms of like necessarily what we did, but just the energy, the vibes, the laughter. It was the same.
Oh, that's awesome. I can't wait to hear all about it.
Yeah.
So do you want to get to the trivia questions so then we could start talking about
Sure.
it?
Yes. So I told Julia she's probably not going to get it because it's very specific, but I really do feel like this is a fitting trivia question for the topic of the week. And I think you'll agree with me, even though you'll probably be kind of upset because you're probably not going to get it. But you know what? It's
You
not about you.
underestimate me.
Okay, so let's see. If you get it, wow, I'll be amazed.
Okay.
So the question is, what is the nickname often given to Lake George in New York due to its crystal clear waters and stunning beauty?
Hmm. Have you ever heard this nickname before? Like, do
No.
people actually call it that?
I
No.
mean, no, it's just more like a thing. It's not really like we're going to blank and it's synonymous with Lake George. It's almost like how Japan is land of the rising sun.
Well, everyone knows
Mhm.
that though.
But it's like nobody, it's similar energy,
Oh,
but
but you're not
not
to
many
be like,
people
I'm
know
going to
it.
the land of the rising sun.
That's what I
Yeah.
mean. Yeah, it's
Okay.
kind of like that's just its nickname. It's just what's given to it. And I just thought it was really cute.
Okay. I don't know. So you're right. But I'll think and
Okay.
I'll get it wrong in about an hour.
Maybe I'll give you a hint for this one because it is so hard, but you're probably not going to get it. But it's okay because we're not keeping track of points, so it's not like I'm trying to win.
Are we not keeping track of points?
Are you?
I wasn't, but it's very easy to just listen back and tally up.
So you're going to listen back to all our episodes and tally up.
I could.
Oh, you could actually just skip ahead.
Yeah,
That's a
exactly.
lot of work.
It's worth it because I think I'm winning.
You probably are winning, but I'm also winning with the time because we keep track of how much time everything is. So I feel like we're balanced.
So, we haven't been keeping track of that either though, but clearly you're the winner with
No,
that. Yeah,
you won like one time when I was doubting myself.
I know. And I like barely won. It was kind of close still too, I think.
I think we're like a few minutes off,
Yeah.
both of us.
Yeah, I have no chance with that. But
Yeah.
I do have a chance with the country trivia questions, which I think is harder in my opinion. So good for me.
I wouldn't say it's harder. I would say it's different.
Okay.
Because with country trivia, it's like I mean, it's both like, it's just what you happen to hear.
That's true.
because you just happen to know that it's not like you're looking up driving, you're studying, like you just happen to know.
You don't
And
know
then
if
with
I'm
time,
studying.
it's just like an intuitive skill.
Imagine I study for
I
this.
think you do study. I think you look up. I think you do.
That'd be so funny. Yeah, I have nothing better to do.
I mean,
I mean, I am a lot freer now.
yeah.
So
It's what you spend your days doing.
yeah, just sitting here, country trivia, just
Hoping.
yeah, just memorizing everything. She's bound to ask me one of these at one point.
Oh, that'd be cute.
That would be cute. Well, I do that, so
Yeah. So
yes, very cute. Anyways,
anyway.
okay, where were we? So you asked me that hard question. I don't know the answer. So, okay, let's jump into things.
Okay. I'm excited.
So, can you give me a synopsis of what your trip was like, how long it was, your overall synopsis day to day?
Yes. So ever since Savannah, Michael and I love the idea of having just a mini trip from Friday to Monday. So that's what we decided to also do with Lake George because it's really not a place that you spend that long there.
Mhm.
So we decided to leave on a Friday and we got back on a Monday. So the trip was about like 4 days ish. So we left on Friday night because he had work, which looking back might have been a mistake. I was fine with it, but he was driving and he had to drive at night. So it took about like 5 hours because we also did stop for food. So we ended up getting there at like 11 p.m., which
Okay.
we were fine with. That was kind of the plan, but I think um he was a little bit stressed
You don't
because
realize how much it's going to take out of you until you actually do it.
yeah, like it didn't take anything out of me, but for him, he was a little bit stressed because there were like no lights on the highway. So I think he was a little bit scared driving that last hour, even though he didn't say it. But I could kind of gather that. And
Yeah.
he kind of said, like, oh, next time if we come here again, I'm gonna have to leave during the day. So
Okay.
for just keep in mind if you are driving to Lake George, I'd recommend maybe not getting there at night because the roads are a little bit scary at night.
So when would you have, if you can go back and you have the same amount of time off, would you have left Saturday morning instead?
Honestly, no.
Really?
I would probably just encourage him to take off a little bit earlier and we would maybe leave like 11 a.m., get there for 5 p.m. kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
maybe
I
not.
would encourage that because honestly, like we were thinking about it leaving early, but my thing is I just get so tired after a long drive that I can't have the whole day ahead of me. That's why we like that Friday night thing so we can get a full night's rest and then start super early the next day. So I think we're just going to have to take a day off if we're going to have that kind of travel.
Yeah, because that's what you did with Savannah too, right? You flew in that night and you didn't really do anything that day. And then the next day you were just refreshed and ready to go.
Yeah, and it worked out there because we rented the car and it was only 15 minutes from the airport. So it wasn't a big deal for him to drive at night there. It was very quick. But with Lake George, he was driving at night for like 2 or 3 hours.
And I think it's different in Savannah. You're in a city as opposed to driving
Hmm.
to Lake George. A lot of that drive is you're just driving through fields pretty much.
Yeah, and it was just like no lights. It was pretty scary, but we didn't know at the time. So like, just going forward, we know now if it's going to be a long road trip to maybe leave a little bit earlier.
Yeah, and that's something our listeners can consider also when they're planning a road trip. Just think about your timing, think about how you'll feel comfortable if it is dark or raining or anything, whether that would bother you or not.
Yeah, for sure. He didn't think it was going to bother him, but now we know it bothers him.
So coming back, did you leave during the day?
Coming back, yes, we did leave during the day. We left pretty early. Like we were going to think about doing other stuff, but we were both kind of like, we're good. We've done a lot. So we left at like 10 a.m. and we got back 3.
Okay. So you had about 2 whole days in Lake George.
Yes, we did.
Okay. We'll definitely get more into that in a minute, though. But I want to ask you because you said that you kind of had this idea because of your Savannah trip, these like
Yes.
short weekend trips.
Mhm.
So, what made you choose Lake George for the short weekend trip?
I think it was kind of inspired from our trip because I just remember how much fun we have. And we said, oh, we have to go back here, but actually when it's the time to go back. So we had just come back from Savannah and I knew, I think at that point that I was going to be working during the summer and I knew I had this weekend to spare. Like I kind of wanted just like a fun little mini trip after ending school because I'm a teacher. So I just kept that in mind and I was like, this is an easy trip to do. It's close by. We don't have to take a plane. I was kind of tired of taking planes after Savannah. I was like, what's just like a fun road trip place? And I was like, I feel like it just hit me. Like it wasn't even really a thought. It was just like, it has to be Lake George. Let's do it.
So you weren't thinking for months like, oh, I want to go to Lake George soon. I want to go soon. It was just kind of spur of the moment. I have off. That place sounds fun.
Yeah. It was right after Savannah. I think I actually booked it like the next day. I was like, what's our next thing? Lake George just kind of like hit me because it's just been stirring in my mind for a while, like how much fun we had and what we had said.
Yeah, and I love that you planned that right after Savannah too, because I'm the same way. I feel like I always need something coming up. Otherwise, I just go crazy.
Well, it's actually funny that you say that because it was towards the end of our trip here and I booked our next trip already. Like, and he's just so funny. We're sitting there, we're like drinking our coffee, looking out at the view. And I'm like, so what's our next trip? And he's like, you're not going to enjoy the view. And I was like, no, what's our next trip?
Yes, that is me. So what is your
Yeah.
next trip? Is it the cruise or is there something else coming up?
No, so we also wanted a similar energy. It was between Miami and Ocean City because he knows places in Miami that have good resorts. So we were like, oh, we could do that. But then I was thinking about the plane and this and that. I don't know why. I really don't want to take a plane right now. I'm just so tired of, you know,
It
the
adds a lot to your
lines
trip.
and it's exhausting.
It
I'm like, I
is.
kind of, and honestly, we had so much fun on the way there. He just lets me play my music. He loves my music. We're singing, we're dancing. So it's just a different vibe. Like we kind of want to go on more road trips. So we decided to go with Ocean City. So hopefully I could go there because I have a little bit of time between summer and school. So if it works out, I don't have orientation. We're gonna drive to Ocean City, Maryland, which is
Oh, that's
like a
awesome.
beach place, which we've never done a beach place. So we're excited.
I have been to Maryland, but I've never been to Ocean City. So that sounds
Yeah.
really nice. I didn't know they had a beach type town there.
Oh yeah, it's just like for blocks and blocks and blocks. It's like seafood restaurants. It's just a beach. I already booked like not like a resort, but just like a nice hotel that overlooks the water. So I think
Oh,
it'll
so
just
it's
be
pretty
nice, like
definite.
end of summer. It's definite, but like I can cancel. So not that I want to, but if school does come up, I'm not gonna go. So it's
Yeah.
easy. It's like because I even said too, like I don't know when my orientation is, so I don't want to have to do a plane that's like way harder to cancel. Like I could just cancel this 1, 2, 3, get a refund.
Yes,
So if you're
exactly.
not sure of dates, it kind of is smart to consider like plane or driving. Maybe if it's easy to, cancel the hotel, maybe consider that if you're not sure.
Yeah, just staying a little more local because
Hmm.
planes can be easy to cancel depending on what type of flight you book. You may have to pay extra to get the non-refundable. I mean, the refund, you want the refundable. You may have to pay extra
Yeah.
to get the refundable. But yeah, in general, I think it is just easier not to have that extra layer on top of
Yeah.
things.
That was just for us. It just made sense. And I'm going to be taking, two trips next year with planes. So I'm like, just want to do like little trips around here that I haven't been to. I've always heard about Ocean City, Maryland from my parents and my brother, and they all love it. So I just kind of want to experience that too.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah, definitely let me know how that goes. I'm sure we'll talk about it on the podcast because I'm curious about going
Yes.
there too.
Yeah,
I've
that'll
been
be end of
wanting
August.
I've been wanting to do more road trips lately, and I know we're in different parts of the country, so our road trips would be kind of different, but I could still make it there one day.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I'd like that. So yes, we'll definitely talk about that. But I have some more questions for you about Lake George, obviously.
Yeah.
So what was the planning process like for Lake George? Is it almost the same model you're using for your Maryland trip about just taking things easy and refundable and just going as it
Absolutely.
goes?
That
Yeah.
is that is our vibe. I mean, we're lucky because Lake George, you really don't have to book anything in advance. It's really a place that you could just kind of wake up and do anything you want. Everything's right there. And we had a really nice resort where they had a pool and a beautiful view. So we had a lot to do there as well without really needing to travel. And we were only 3 minutes from the town. So for us, it was extremely convenient to just kind of wake up and do whatever we wanted. We did have an itinerary. We talked about it before. I used the AI model Chat GPT and I typed in what is a good 3 day itinerary for Lake George. And it gave me the most detailed itinerary. I said, I'm leaving on a Friday, coming back on a Monday, and it gave me like step by step what to do. We didn't follow it obviously to a T, but it did say like you can kayak in the morning, do this, do that. And we kind of pulled from different places. So that is 100% I would recommend use the Chat GPT um, software if you are planning to do like a little itinerary where you're not really sure what to do. I think that is like the best.
That's funny you mentioned that actually, because I've personally never used it for a trip, but I do want to at some point. And I've
Hmm.
actually been almost thinking of kind of testing it out just for my blog and for just fun purposes
Yes.
of just saying, give me an itinerary for this weekend in whatever city I'm in. So I guess I would do Orlando since that's where I am. And then
Hmm.
just follow its itinerary, whatever it gives me, and just see if I have fun.
It's honestly such a fun thing. It gave me such detail. It was like 12 p.m., go to this specific kayak place, rent a kayak. It costs about this
Really?
much. Like it's very specific. I mean, the thing about chat is it's not updated after 2021. So they can't tell you specifics of like modern. But I mean, Lake
Yes.
George, it's like these things have been around for a while. So it's pretty accurate when it comes to that. And like we said, we didn't use it exactly how the itinerary said it, but we, picked and choose. And we even asked more, like, we're like, what else do you have? What else do you have? We want to do this. What places would you recommend? And that was our main thing to look up. It had the best recommendations. So we really
Really?
utilized that. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, I was
Hmm.
always wondering and thinking about using it for my trip, but I never actually did. So it's good that you have experience doing that and you can recommend that.
Yeah, there was actually one point where we were going on a hike, and it was kind of funny because I don't remember what hike it was. I really need to remember it, but we were driving there, and there was a lady at a toll booth, and we told her where we were going. She's like, "You do not want to go to that hike. That is not a good hike." And we were like,
Really?
"What?" And she's like, "Some people need to be like lifted out of there because it's very dangerous." And we were like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much for letting us know." And she told us where to go, but in that moment, I also looked up what are some easy, moderate hikes in the Lake George area. And it gave me like 10 different ones and told me how easy, moderate it was. So
Wow.
that was really helpful as well to just, look at different things.
And did you wind up going on one of those hikes? We could get into that a little
No,
later,
she
but
she ended up requesting one, so we did the one that she had, and also Chad backed up that it was a pretty easy hike.
okay.
So yeah, so we used the one that she had told us. But I mean, if she wasn't there, she didn't recommend it. Like obviously, if you're out and about doing that, you could use chat for that. So
But yeah, it is such a quick and easy tool. And I mean, I know, like you said, it's not completely updated. So new things can, like, places can close, new things can open, prices can change,
mm,
obviously. But for the most part, I think it's a really, really good tool for finding things like that because like hikes are not going to change that much.
exactly. And I think it's really good for somebody like Michael and I who just kind of wakes up and is a little bit more spontaneous and just has no clue because we didn't really do too much research ahead of time. So that was really helpful for our type of personalities. And we
Yeah,
like it too. We just had so much fun. Like, what should we do? And we're like looking at the choices, and it adds just so much more fun.
it is fun because you never know what it's going to spit out.
Exactly. We loved it. It was really fun.
Yeah, I definitely plan on doing that. That's an interesting way of planning. And I think a lot of travelers have started to do that recently. And I'm interested in
Mm,
seeing how people use ChatGPT to like travel moving forward because I know it's becoming
absolutely.
such a big thing.
Yes.
But so now do you want to jump into your itinerary? Because I know we've been sort of brushing upon it through this whole time.
Yeah.
But now I kind of want to hear about your day to day, what you did each day, what you recommend, what you
Hmm.
don't recommend, just the whole trip.
Absolutely. So the first night we just went straight to sleep. So, 11 p.m., which, as I said before, the driving was a lot, but I'm really happy that we did that because I just love going to bed and waking up feeling refreshed for a vacation. And our resort, first of all, it was the Lake View Terrace Resort. And it was really nice. I mean, if I'm going to be honest, like nothing near Lake George, you're not going to get 5-star, resorts. That's just not the type of vibe it is. It's
Hmm.
just more like naturey, chill, affordable kind of. So, but ours was on the upper scale of resorts. And I'm so happy we chose that one. I felt pretty good there. There were definitely some crazy things that happened, which I can get into,
Oh
but
boy.
for the most part, it was really nice. I'm so happy that we got the balcony suite because we were right on the lake and we had the balcony terrace. So, we just looked outside and the whole lake was there. It was the most beautiful view. We really loved it.
Oh, that's
And
gorgeous.
like I said, the resort had a heated pool that we totally took advantage of with the bar next to it and food, like
So
a bar
nice.
grill, kind of like how we had in New Orleans,
Yes.
but not like as fancy and nice, but same energy. And it was still very nice. And then if you went down the hill, there was a little mini beach. So you could have like a little mini beach to yourself. And from there were kayak rentals, which I'll talk about later. But pretty much everything we needed was at that resort.
That's
resort
great. So you never really
rotation.
had to leave it necessarily.
We stayed there a decent amount of time. Like obviously not the whole time, we did things here and there, but it was a really nice home base compared to our hotel. Like I think it was
Yes.
perfect for winter because we had an indoor pool, but between the two for summer, 100% our resort would be the better one.
Oh yeah, I'd never want to stay where we stayed for summer because it's just not that kind of place to give
Yeah.
everyone an idea of where we stayed. I don't remember what hotel chain it was, but it was one of the bigger
The
hotel chains.
Holiday Inn,
Yeah,
Marriott, I don't know, something like that.
it
Yeah.
was one of those and it was fine. It was nice, it was clean, whatever.
Yeah.
But it didn't have anything special about it. It wasn't on the lake. It was down the road from the lake. So I don't know if we had to drive or if it was walkable. I don't really
Oh,
remember,
we
but
had to drive.
yeah, but it
Because was
wasn't
it like the side of a side road kind of? You couldn't walk it.
right. Yeah, but it wasn't too far. So potentially maybe during the summer you could have, I don't know, but it was it was not on the water. But the
Yeah.
things it worked for the winter because we had the indoor pool, we had the hot tubs. We didn't really need to be right on the water. So
Mm-hmm.
it just kind of worked. We had the car with us. We could just get to wherever we needed to be. So, but I would never have stayed there over the summer.
Yeah, for sure. Also, I did want to mention because they have a ton of hotels around the area and they're all very nice.
Hmm.
I also did see an option of renting out houses. So if let's say you were going to go with a few families or just even just one family and you didn't want to be at a hotel, it is an option to book and rent like a nice house on the water. I saw like because we were at the resort and next to us was a house and I saw from one night to another there was a different family. So
Oh,
obviously
wow.
one family checked out, there was a new one in and they had a lot of space. So that's also something to consider if you're going to Lake George. There are options to rent out houses. So that's really cool.
Yeah, that's a really great idea. And I think we forget to kind of mention that a lot, that there are options to rent houses pretty much wherever you go. And
Mm-hmm.
also, like just Airbnb, you could always find things
Yes,
like that.
absolutely.
I know when my family went to Tennessee, it was an awesome experience because we rented out a log cabin in the woods and we had
Mm,
a hot tub and it was just, we had our own space. We didn't need to worry about hotel or anything. It was just us and we were able to enjoy the vacation just as a family. And I think that's
yeah.
really cool to do at Lake George also. It's like similar
Hmm.
experience. You have your own little lake house and you could just enjoy it with your family and not have to worry about other people intruding on your vacation.
Absolutely. I think once Michael and I start to have a family and we have children, I think that's going to probably be our main place that we'd want to stay. I think with just us two, I feel safer a little bit in a hotel, even
Uh-huh.
though, like as I mentioned, there are some things about this place that were annoying,
Yes.
but I think it is really good for families just to have your own space. The baby's crying, like you could just handle it. You don't have to worry about there's a million people around you, and yeah, so that's definitely a really good option.
Yeah, there's definitely pros and cons to both, but I would say if I had the money and it was the right situation, I probably would choose a house over a hotel in a lot of circumstances.
I don't know how much more expensive though a hotel would be. I can't imagine it would be that much more because we did spend a decent amount
Mhm.
at the resort. So I don't know how much more they would have spent, but I'm sure it's not going to be astronomically higher.
I think it really depends how many people you have with you, how many people are
That's
chipping
true.
in, and of
Yeah.
course, how much money you have in your reserves for the trip.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do think they probably charge per night, and the price
Yes.
per night where you are may be 150, the price per night where they are might be 300, you know?
That's true. Yeah, and like you said, like let's say, my family, like when I have kids and everything, and then your family, and we all want to go together, that could be something to do. And like we did that for your bachelorette party when we went to Tennessee. We stayed in a house, which I think is easier than instead of all of us knocking on each other's hotel rooms and being separated. We all wake up at the
Yeah,
same time, we see each other, we can make breakfast, dinner, whatever. It's just more like family oriented if you want to stay closer together.
it's more fun that way. Yeah, and it does reduce the price because I bet it was probably cheaper for us to all stay in that house as opposed
Mm-hmm.
to staying in hotel rooms and being separate and having to like run through the hallways and get to floor 6 and then floor 3 and then here and there just to see everyone and make sure everyone's on the same page. So I do think it is a lot easier and it adds to the experience when you are together the whole time.
Yeah, and it was cute because for your bachelorette party, Allie wanted to decorate everything, and at a hotel, you probably couldn't have done that same type of decoration.
No, definitely not. You'd have to like shove me in the bathroom and
Yes,
then just my
exactly.
room would be decorated and not everyone else would really get to see the decorations.
Yes, exactly. So that's just another thing I wanted to throw out there for Lake George because you do have options of places to stay.
Yeah, that's a really good thing to consider, not only for there, but for everywhere. But yeah, even
Yeah.
there, because I just think that's a really nice place to do that. It's a very family-oriented place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess to get into the itinerary for the day, Michael and I, like we said, the type of people we are, just very spontaneous. We're like, let's just ask chat what to do. And we beforehand we copy and pasted his itinerary and put it into a Google Docs so that we could always refer to it in case we didn't have any Wi-Fi or anything like that.
That's smart.
So yeah, so we always referred back to the Google Docs and maybe we would add some more details here and there. If we wanted to ask, oh, what are some more? Again, copy paste. So that's what we did. We were like, okay, let's just wake up whenever we want, do whatever we want. I literally, it was so weird. We're like, let's just sleep in. Whenever we wake up, we're gonna wake up. I literally woke up at 5:30 and I just could not go back to sleep. So I was like, Michael, wake up. We're
5:30.
waking up. And he's like, okay. And then we were just happened to just both be up at 5:30, which was
Wow.
kind of weird. We did not intend to at
That's really
all.
weird.
Yeah. So we had definitely an early start to Saturday morning.
But you get more of a day that way. That's nice.
Yeah, accidentally. So that was pretty funny. So we just like, showered, got ready, all that stuff. And we decided to do Cafe Vero for breakfast because I have been
Uh,
convincing him that this is the best coffee in the whole world. Is that
Cafe
Cafe
Vero.
Vero?
Oh,
Yes.
I miss Cafe Vero. How was it? Was it just as good?
Okay, so I have a few different opinions. Should I just say how it I guess I'll just say how it was and then I'll mention it later instead of going day by day. But
Okay.
so day one, it was incredible. I got the Dolce Vita latte, which
That's
is
what you got when
cinnamon
we
and
went.
vanilla. Yes, and it was
Yes.
still just as delicious. And Michael's was really good too. They did a little design in his cup, and it was really nice. We actually sat outside instead of inside, and it was pretty cute. So that was really nice. We had breakfast sandwiches, bacon, egg, and cheese, and it was delicious. So I would definitely 10 out of 10 recommend Cafe Vero for breakfast if you're going to Lake George. It's so chill. The vibes are great. You could sit inside, outside, and coffee's great. So day one of Cafe Vero was amazing. But day two, I was really disappointed because I ordered La Dolce Vita and I think the guy misunderstood me and he just gave me a regular iced latte.
Oh,
And I was like, it's okay. Like their regular iced lattes are fine. They're not the best coffees in the world. It's La Dolce Vita that's the best coffee in the world.
my coffee was very good though. I don't remember what I got. It wasn't La Dolce Vita. It was something else, but it was very
Mm.
good. So
Yeah,
maybe they
so
just don't have good, what was it, iced latte or whatever.
I also think that was on him because
Hmm.
when the girl made it, she was amazing. Do you remember this? Because I remembered it from my memory and I was like, oh my God, I completely forgot. There's a lot of I don't even know, I guess foreign exchange students.
Was there?
I remember this when we were there too. We're like, oh, this person's from like Germany. This person, even the guy who was at the desk, I think was from somewhere else too. I think.
Really?
Yeah. So
I
there's a
didn't
lot
pick
of
up on
people in
that.
like from Lake George that are from like Europe. Like I think he was
Wow.
from like Germany or something.
Maybe he was new.
I don't know. I feel like he was there last time. But
Really?
anyway, no offense to him if he's listening to this, but he was just not as good
I
as
don't
the
think he's
girls
listening
are.
to this.
And it was so funny because even Michael's coffee the next day was just okay. And we looked at it and the design was so sad.
Really?
I saw him trying to
Uh,
make it. He was like laughing and the girls were like laughing at him. So that was kind of disappointing.
oh, they just need to put him behind the register.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was pretty disappointing, but I mean it was still pretty good. But
Yeah.
like not the best coffee I've ever had.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it just depends who you get making your coffee. I remember when we went, there was this girl with really long, pretty hair, and I think she had it in a braid,
Yes.
and
I don't
she
think she was there. She was so good.
so good.
Yeah, she wasn't there this time. So I guess it just really depends. But like I said, 10 out of 10 would recommend Cafe Vero for breakfast. It's delicious.
Yeah, I think even now, I mean, I know I didn't get to try it on the day that it wasn't as good, but I think overall it's still pretty recommendable.
100%.
Hmm.
Most people would go there for breakfast because it's in like the town center. So that's how we started. And then we were just like kind of having like a chill morning. We didn't want to do anything too crazy, so we just explored the town, which is actually cute because that's what we did with Savannah too. Like we got breakfast and then just explored the town.
Aw,
So that's like our staple. So it was really fun. We just went to the different shops. I got myself a little Lake George hoodie and something else. But I think it was like a hoodie and shorts or something.
Did you get a
So
lot of Lake George shirts and shorts? Because when I was watching your TikTok, I could have swore I saw you in like 8 different Lake George shirts, like every
no, I just got
single.
one.
Really? I don't
Yeah.
know what that
No, it was
was
just
about
that
then.
one.
Really?
You just saw me in a bunch of different outfits, but those were my own outfits. I only had the one Lake George
I could have swore they
hoodie.
said Lake George on them. No.
No, it was
Okay.
just that one, the one yellow one, because actually it started to rain, which we were so happy about, which I feel
Really?
like most people they wouldn't really want it to rain, but we were so happy that it was raining because it was so cute and like cozy and romantic.
Aw.
So we were just like going through the town and it was like raining a little bit. We got ourselves like a little slushy because they have like little slushy stand. And yeah, so that was kind of the morning. That's what we did was just Cafe Vero and explored the town. And then we went back to the hotel. And I think after that, we just kind of relaxed for a second in the hotel because we had like a balcony suite. So we just enjoyed the view. I think we had another coffee on the patio and just explored. And then no. Sorry, the coffee was after the hike. So I think we went back to like recuperate and see what we were gonna do.
Mhm.
And then we decided to do the hike. So we got changed into hiking clothes and we were gonna go to that place, but then I told you we got like turned around by that lady who said not to go. I think it
D-
was like Prospect Trail,
Is that
Mountain
the one
Trail.
that we went on?
No,
No.
we went on a different one.
Do you
That's what the
remember?
one I thought we were going to do.
Okay.
It was not that one, and the one that we did wasn't that one as well. But the one that we were gonna do was a little bit more intense, but unintentionally because we just wanted to go on a hike. So
Hmm.
she brought us around and we went to a different hike in the
Okay.
area. Yeah. I forget its name. I wish I remembered, but it was a different hiking trail.
Well, if you remember, I could always add it into the description of this video.
I'm sure if I looked
So,
it up,
yeah.
it would say it, but it was way better. 10 out of 10 would recommend. The only thing is Michael wasn't really happy with it because there were a lot of mosquitoes and he kept on getting bitten. So
Mm.
by the end of it, both of us had like mosquito bites up and down our legs. And but it was really cute because it was raining and we were under the trees and it was like really like it was just like nice temperature. It wasn't too hot and we were kind of like refreshed a little bit. And it was just like it's cute like to go like hiking in the rain a little bit.
That is nice.
So
It's refreshing, yeah, because sometimes you get really hot when you're hiking.
yeah, so we just did that for like 40 minutes, not
Okay.
even. It was just a
Yeah,
really chill hike. Yeah,
that's a good length of time.
yeah, it was chill. So then we went back to the hotel again after that. And then that's when I showered and did the coffee. The first time going back to the hotel, it was just to figure out what we were gonna do.
Okay.
So then we were a little bit tired after that. We decided to go back into town and we had lunch in town. And there was a place that we ate again, I forget the name, but it was by the water and it was just really, really nice. And I had like a lobster roll, he had a burger, and it was really good. So the food at Lake George is pretty good,
So
which
I'm
we never really
guessing,
got to have because I think everything was closed.
yeah, I was about to say, I'm guessing the food options are better than what they seemed when we were there because everything was closed
Yes.
when we were there. I think there was just that one bar open and Cafe Vero.
Yes. So there was a ton of restaurant options. There were restaurant options along the water too, which we did not do.
Hmm.
We had it was like in a little like shopping complex almost. And it was just so delicious. Check out my TikTok if you want to see us eating it. It was so good. And then after that, I think we just decided to have a chill evening. We went back to our resort and we put on our bathing suits and we just enjoyed the heated pool for the evening. And we went to sleep pretty early, like 8 or 9. We had a TV in our room, so we just watched a little TV and went to sleep.
In typical
So
Katie fashion.
yes, we were actually him too, though. He was exhausted too.
I mean, you woke up so early and you did a
That's the
lot.
thing. And we had gone to bed like a little bit later the night before, so it was just like yeah. But we did a lot. We had fun that day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that does sound like a nice day.
It was relaxing. We had a little bit of movement, just things here and there. We explored the town. So we did a lot that day, even though it doesn't seem like we did too much.
Well, yeah, because you do a lot when you're exploring the town. There's so many things to see.
Yes,
You're probably going in and out of so many shops. That is
exactly.
a lot. It's not like it's
Yeah.
nothing. Yeah.
Which I think you have to do if you're gonna go to Lake George, which we didn't get a chance to do because nothing was open in
Yes.
that town. So we literally spent like an hour, hour and a half exploring that town, and there's just so much to see. They have a lot of shops, which kind of are offensive. Like it's like hardcore, like right wing, like very mean and
Like
offensive
political
church.
shops.
Yes, they have a
Okay.
lot of that in Lake George. So just take it with a
That's
grain of salt.
interesting because
It's intense.
when I was a kid, I mean, obviously that was not really so much a thing when I was a kid. Like, I mean, I know there were sides, but it wasn't so divided, obviously.
Oh yeah.
So when I was shopping there as a kid, like I don't remember any of that stuff. It was more, I mean, I was a kid, obviously, so maybe I didn't pick up on it, but it was just like mom and pop shops, like, oh, get your Lake George t-shirts here, hermit
They
crabs on the
had some of
street.
that. I think it was just like one person bought a bunch of stores because it was like the same brand. And
Okay.
a lot of their shirts are pretty offensive. I was like, why is that like a family friendly like place? Like who's going in here? And literally everybody who passed it was like laughing or just being like, what the heck? Like it was just like very shocking. I was like, why is this a thing?
Yeah. I mean, you see those stores everywhere, but some of them are a lot more offensive than others.
But they had like three separate stores that were, I think it was like the same place, but in different locations within the, like it was like a lot of stores that had that.
Really?
It
Oh,
was
yeah.
weird.
So it's probably just one person that bought up everything.
Just like, it's just weird, but I don't know. So
Wow.
that's just something to note. Not a lot of people of color. It was mostly white people.
Hmm.
That was just the vibe of Lake George. So I don't know. I feel like if you're a person of color, like obviously you can go and enjoy it, but I don't think it's the most friendly, like diverse friendly place.
Yeah, that's just how upstate is, I think.
Yeah.
Upstate New York, it does tend to be like that,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
But yeah, so then that was Saturday. So we had a good day Saturday. And then Sunday we woke up a little bit later, 8 a.m. So
It's still pretty early.
yeah, still pretty early. And then we went to Cafe Vera, which I told you I had the disappointing coffee run.
Yes.
But then after that, we went back to the hotel after breakfast and we decided to rent kayaks. So, like I said, the resort we had allowed you to rent kayaks. I think it was like $15,
Hmm.
I think each, which really isn't bad. You get like an hour out there, but they don't keep track. Like you could spend however long you want kayaking. And it was honestly just so, so beautiful. We just kayaked for like an hour and a half. He was doing most of the work. We just went around a little bit, saw the sights, saw the mountains, saw ducks. They're just
Aw.
ducks like swimming around where our little beach is. So we were both really happy because we love ducks so much, both of us.
Yeah, ducks
Like I
are
feel
so
like
cute.
dogs will be like, oh, cute, but ducks were like, it's a duck. Like both of us are like that, which is like so cute.
Ducks are really
So
cute. I love ducks.
I love ducks so much. I just find them adorable. I love them so much. So
It's hard to not
it's
like,
cute.
especially the little babies.
Yeah. And
So
they're just
cute.
swimming around and I love like their colors on their head, like blue and green.
At my
So
apartment complex, we you haven't been to my new apartment yet, but we're right on the lake. I could see it from my
oh wow.
windows. And the ducks, there was a duck that had babies, ducklings, yeah, that's what they're
Oh,
called. And I got to watch them grow up and it was
oh
so cute. And now
my.
they're all grown up and doing their own thing. But
Oh,
I saw them from when they were like just born.
oh
So
my God. That's the one
so
thing that
cute.
I feel like I'm like sad. I'm not gonna flirt. I'm obviously very happy with my situation, but
Uh-huh.
I think Michael and I would just love waking up by a lake. Like we love a good view of nature and
Yeah.
lakes. Like we love lakes. So just to have that would be so nice.
I do think it is very both of you, but
Mhm.
it's not out of the cards. I mean, I know you have a house now and enjoy it, but you're not stuck there forever.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, he does like Florida. I think it's just, I mean, I think for this time in our lives, it just makes sense to be there, but
Yeah.
never know yeah, like you said, what's going to be in the cards for us in the future. I'm
Exactly. You're
open.
not stuck there. It works for now.
Yes, exactly. So maybe one day we'll be next to a lake. That would be amazing because that's
Yeah.
just so like we love like both of us like we spent so much time on that balcony just enjoying coffee, water, whatever, just looking out at the lake.
Yeah, it is very you. Every time you guys go away, I've noticed you're always just on a balcony looking over a lake.
Yes, that is
Just a
our
different one.
thing.
Yeah.
Yes. I just love it so much. So anyway, so yeah, we went kayaking, which 10 out of 10 you need to do if you're going to go to Lake George, unless you really hate kayaking. But it's just so easy and like moderate that everybody could do it. We even did it, and ours was kind of hard. Like Lake George is completely clear, flat. There are no waves. It's just just chill.
That's really nice, especially compared to our last adventure with kayaking. I think you needed that.
It was
Coming here.
a lot more relaxing. So
Yes,
that was amazing.
that's really
Yeah.
nice. I
Yeah.
need something like that too. I feel even the last kayaking I did, it was not with you. I think it was with my husband Donato, and we went on a lake down here in Florida, and it was nice, but it was a little bit choppy. And
Mm,
so he had to do most of the work. I had to sit there and be tired. And I
yeah.
was scared of alligators the whole time.
Oh.
We were fine,
Well, yeah, that's the
but
thing about Lake George. No alligators. It's very calm. You don't really have to be
yes,
scared of anything.
for the most part, I believe with kayaking, it is pretty safe here. But it's just always something to be scared of.
Oh, for sure. I'd be so
So
scared if alligators were around.
yeah, I mean, we were fine. We didn't see a single one. But I
Yeah.
was like, I'm just gonna sit here and make myself small so they can't see me. You do
Yes.
all the work.
Yes. So that was really, and I was actually really nice with Michael because I was like, oh, like, do you want me to help you? And he's like, I'd actually prefer if you didn't help. And I was like,
Really
hallelujah. He wanted,
amazing.
because I was helping him a little bit. And then afterwards he told me no. And I was like, oh, why? And he's like, because then I have to synchronize with you and you go
Yeah,
very slow.
that's
So
what
he's like,
Donato
I'd
was
rather
saying.
just go quickly.
Yeah, that's what Donato said about me. He was like, you could stop. You're throwing me off. I was like, what do
Yes. So yeah, they're the same way with that. So
you?
I was
Yeah.
like, thank God, please, because I was just happy just to be relaxing in the water.
It's funny that they think we're slow because I was going so fast, in my opinion. I was like going crazy. And he tells me I'm going too slow. How can I possibly go faster?
That's so funny.
I
Yeah.
thought I was
So
carrying the team.
that's really funny.
I don't know. I think it's just an ego thing, men.
Probably. So yeah, so then we went back to the hotel, which was super easy because we were right there. And we decided to go into the pool after the kayaking because again our pool was like heated. It was nice. There were people there, but not too many people. So it was just like a fun time. He got me a pina colada. So I
Oh,
was just enjoying that by the water. And then we went to the water for a bit and we were there for like, I don't know, an hour, almost two.
yeah.
So that was really, really fun. And then
So did you ever swim in the lake or did you just use the pool?
no, we didn't go in the lake.
Okay, is there a reason why? Do you wish you did, or was there a reason
No,
why you didn't?
because we prefer to not be in like freezing cold water. We just like had like a nice temp water and the pool, it just felt like safer and nice temperature. It's just like a better vibe. Like more people were there. It was just like more fun. Whereas we did hang out by the lake, by the sand. Like it's a nice place to just sit and enjoy the view. But as far as swimming, it's very, very cold.
Okay, because I remember when I was a kid, I had the best time swimming in the lake. I mean,
Mm,
but then again, kids just like doing things like swimming, and even when it's freezing, they don't really care.
yeah.
So I guess everyone has a different experience, but I
Yeah.
personally loved swimming in the lake. So I don't know how I would be if I went back today,
I think that you would
but
have been the same as us because the pool
really,
was just such a better vibe. Like
okay.
it's just more like, I mean, kids were there having fun too, but it's just more chill and you could still see the lake from there and it was still beautiful. I just feel like by the sand, it was a little bit more like there wasn't that many people. Like there'd only be
Okay.
like two, three. So I guess if you wanted to like swim with nobody around, maybe. But if you're just looking for a chill vibe, again, it was like that same like when we went to New Orleans, that rooftop with the pool and chairs and a bar. It's just like that's more of the vibe, and that's I like that vibe better
Yeah.
than like
It's
strictly water.
It's interesting that you say no one was swimming in the lake because I remember when I was a kid, and I mean, maybe this is my distorted kid memories, but I remember a lot of people swimming in the lake. It just felt like a very family
No,
thing.
but we were at a private resort.
So were we.
Oh,
Yeah.
which resort were you at?
Oh, I don't know. I was 6.
Oh, yeah, no, most of the kids were in the pool.
Really? I guess
Yeah.
just times have changed.
I mean, I don't know, maybe it was
Yeah.
just the time of day we went or any I mean, I know if I had kids, I'd probably prefer the pool
Yeah. The lakes can
too.
be dirty.
Lakes can be dirty. It's very cold, and there's just not much going on. Like I would rather enjoy like a nice drink or relax by the pool chairs and watch my kid in the pool than like have to go all the way down where the sand is. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, because I had a very different experience as a kid, but I get what you're saying, and I feel I would probably be the same way if I had gone today. It's
Hmm.
just like a whole ordeal going in the lake and getting dirty and
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we saw like two little girls and one was burying the other in the sand and we were like, kids just
Gross.
are they just don't care.
Nope. My
Yeah.
kids are not doing that. Model
Oh,
citizens.
no.
Nope.
But to be fair, then they went into the water and they were all clean.
Yeah, okay, but no, they're still not doing that because I just
But
don't
it was
want
like
to deal with it.
stressing us out. We were like,
Yeah.
oh my God, she's so dirty.
Uh, I hate that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad they had
So
fun, but no.
yeah. So that was that. Um, at one point my stomach did hurt. I don't know. Oh, because I was having lady problems.
Mm.
So, but it was actually so nice going with Michael. He was so understanding because we actually wanted to go see Fort William Henry just to like see it, check it out. And
Oh,
I
I
was
didn't
like,
know there was a fort around there.
yeah. Yeah, there's a
Okay.
fort that you could just like walk around, see. We had lunch before it. It was a little bit outside of Lake George and it was such good food. But I had like pasta with cheese and also with my lady problems, it was just like a lot on my stomach.
Yeah.
So, and it was so hot too because Sunday like did not rain. It was just so like hot. And I just think I got like a little bit dehydrated, overheated, but he was really, really sweet. He was like, Katie, I think that we should just go back to the place. And then I was, yeah, we need to go back like right now. I was
Oh,
like, please go back, go back. So then I relaxed for a little bit and we just had like a really chill evening. Um, wait a second. I think I switched the dates. Do you remember what day I went to Applebee's?
no,
Yes, it was
I
Saturday I went
don't.
to Applebee's. I apologize. I forgot to add. It was not like the chillest night. We went to Applebee's on Saturday.
Okay.
Yes. And then Sunday we did something really dumb, both of us. I think like we just acted like children and we just didn't think. And then we were both
Okay.
like, we're so dumb. So I wasn't feeling well, whatever. And then he's like, let's go to Target because I don't remember what we wanted to get. Oh, I needed to get lady stuff.
Okay.
So that's what we were doing in Target. And both of us looked at each other. I think we were like a little bit hungry, but we weren't being mature. And we looked at each other and like, you want to get snacks? I don't even like snacks. And he doesn't even like snacks, but we were just, something overtook us. And I think it was also my lady problems. So we literally got like Cheez-Its, cookies, ice cream. We got milk because we wanted milk and cookies. And we just got like
Oh my God.
overloaded on snacks and we brought it back. And then we weren't really that hungry, but we ate so many Cheez-Its. And then
You
both of
weren't
us were like
feeling good.
not feeling well even more. And then we were like, why did we do that? Like, I literally wanted, because it was my last night in Lake George, to like have a nice dinner.
Yeah.
And then we just like, we weren't parenting ourselves and we went crazy on snacks. And then we were both like, that was dumb.
That is so funny. But I get it because I'm a big snacker, but you're not. So
I'm not a big snacker, and neither is he.
to me, it kind of makes sense in my head. I'm like, oh, they got snacks. Of course they would get snacks. But yeah, for someone like you, that's very not not you.
It wasn't me and it wasn't
Yeah.
him. And something over, I think again, it was my lady problems. And I think that also like affected his energy because I got so excited. Like, we have to get Cheez-Its. And he was like, yes. And he doesn't even like Cheez-Its. Like, it was so weird.
I
So that
didn't
was a
know lady
weird
problems could
evening.
be transferred over to men.
I think it was just like my excited energy about it that he was just like,
You pumped him
yes.
up.
I pumped him up. And then he was like, I would prefer dinner. And I was like, yeah, me too.
So
But we
you
just
just didn't
ended up
have
not
dinner?
doing it. We didn't have dinner that night. So that's why I got confused. So it was the night before we went to Applebee's on Saturday. But this night we did not have any dinner. We
Okay.
just had stupid snacks. And we didn't even eat the ice cream or drink the milk. So that was a waste.
So it just completely went to waste. Oh God.
Yeah. So that was nice. And we didn't bring it home, obviously, because it would
Yeah.
have like spoiled. So that was a mistake. Don't do as we do. Do not overload on snacks at Target, please.
See,
But
but for me, that just makes a lot of sense. Like I would do that.
yeah. But I
And
mean,
and
I
I would eat
still
it.
had so much fun because we were just like enjoying snacks on the balcony and talking. And that's when I was eating the snacks. I was like, "So where do you want to go for our next trip?" And he was
Uh,
like, "Oh my God, already?" And I was like, "Yes." And then he was like excited once I actually hit the book. He's like, "I've never met anybody like you who just does it. Like you're just like, let's go here, book, okay."
oh, so you actually booked it while you were there.
Yeah.
I thought
I
you were
just
just
booked the
looking into it.
hotel.
Okay.
Yeah, because I just like I don't care. I was like, this sounds like a nice hotel. Let's just do it.
That's what I
So
want. I
yeah.
think Donato pushes back a little too much sometimes. Like
Mm.
Michael doesn't seem to push back as much because when I bring something up, like the other day I brought up that I wanted to go to Wyoming and I made up this whole plan in my head. And he was like, "Why do you want to go to Wyoming?" And like he was pushing back so much.
Mm.
So, but if it was
See,
you,
Michael,
you'd
it
already have it
depends
booked.
with him. Like if he agrees with me that this is a good place, he's like, cool, whatever. If it was something that he really hate, like I feel like Wyoming, he'd be like, okay. If it was like someplace like Mexico, he would just be like, no. Like he has just like this thing against us going to Mexico because he reads the news and he's like, I'm scared.
It's funny, Donato was
So
like that too, but now when we booked this cruise, he's so excited for Mexico. I'm like, you're weird
he
because
would be like that
make
too.
up
He
your
gets
mind.
so do you remember when we were going through his Facebook and he like hated Teslas?
Yes,
Now he's like obsessed with Teslas.
make up your mind.
I'm
I
saying
don't
there's
understand.
no, it's like you hate something, but I feel like if I convinced him, like if I had this whole layout of Wyoming and I'm like, we have to go, please, and blah 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 blah, I feel like he'd be like, okay.
See, that's what I did. I came up with this whole plan because I know someone that's there right now and I saw her pictures. I was like, oh, that's
Oh
really nice.
wow.
And she's in Jackson Hole, and Jackson Hole is actually a half an hour away from one major national park and an hour away from another major national park.
Oh
And I was
wow.
like, that's amazing. I know the Teton National Park is right near it.
When are
And
you
then
planning to go?
I don't know. Like I was just spitballing.
Oh
And
yeah.
then yeah, I feel like maybe I'll just go with you because
I know, but it's so hard with my school schedule this year, but
yeah, but he seems to have no interest. So I feel like even if you have some time here and there, like he's not going to make the time for it. So might as
yeah.
well.
And even if Michael can come, like he could just drive us everywhere and
Yeah.
wait in the car for
We should do that,
so
honestly.
yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, Donata's still invited, but if
yes, if
he's
he
going to be
wants to
difficult,
come.
he did this to himself.
Yes. Yeah, no, let me know. I'm definitely I'll look into it because I always have wanted to go to like, that part of the United States.
It looks so pretty and like
Yeah.
very Western, like the most Western looking place I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's really cute.
Yeah, really cute. And it
Yeah.
had, yeah, like two of the biggest national parks are right there. So
Yeah.
how can you not? That's
Yeah.
awesome. So that's now on my list. Hopefully
Mm,
we can do that sometime soon,
yes.
maybe.
Absolutely. Yeah. So then Monday morning we just decided to go. And then that was it. Oh, but I also wanted to mention some of the crazy resort stories.
Yes, I wanted to
So
hear that.
it's just like this is what happens when you go upstate. Like it's not New York City yet. Not everybody has it together, which is fine, but it's annoying. Basically, our hotel key at three different times it did not work and we had to go back. And it
Uh,
was so funny. It was like the last day, it just wasn't working again. It was like the third time. So he went back to them and they were like, oh, it's so weird. Like in our system, it says like we have to deactivate your key at 12. I don't know why it said that. And we're like, why did it just say that? And then they just gave us another key. And we're like, that's
that's
so
so
stupid
weird.
that like it just you had that. But our experience was not that bad. So basically we went back to get our key at one point and the couple in front of us were so upset. And I totally get why they were upset. Basically, what happened was they were just checking in and they were given the hotel key for their room. And they walk in and there's five girls just like partying in their hotel room that like they said was theirs.
Oh my
And they were like,
God.
what are you guys doing here? Like, this is our hotel. And they were like drunk already. This was like 5 p.m. or whatever. And they were like, oh, like the door was open. So we just decided to come on in and party.
No.
And they like refused. They were like, we'll switch with you. Like, I know this is not our room, but like this is, and they're like, this is the room we paid for. Like, I'm not gonna switch with you. And then one of the girls goes to the husband because it's just like a couple. And they were like, like if you would have come in 5 minutes before, we all would have been naked. And they were like, woo. So they're just like
Oh
party
God.
girls. And the wife was so pissed. She's like, they said that to him. And that's so offensive to me. And I don't even know what they were doing in there. And Michael and I was sitting back like, well, we thought we had problems with these keys. Like,
Uh, that's
so
like the
that was,
craziest story ever.
it was so crazy. I felt bad for the couple, but like they got it fixed, I guess, after a while.
Wait,
Um,
so but these girls like they were saying they wanted to switch, so they had a room of their own and they just decided like
they
when
just decided they were like, "Oh, this room looks nice," and they just decided probably because it had a view.
oh, was it one of the
You know what I'm
balcony
saying?
rooms?
I'm
Mm.
not sure, but that's what I'm assuming. And it was open because I think the lady at the front desk was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. The maid must have just like kept it open, blah blah blah."
Uh-huh.
So that was a mistake on the hotel because it was an
But also
open.
you don't
It almost
expect
looked
that
like
to
a
happen.
motel.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I've never heard a story like that. But again, it was a motel. Like
Okay, yeah. Like the
it wasn't
doors
a
are on the
motel, but it
outside.
looked like one. So the doors were all on the outside. So it's a little
Yes.
bit easier to just, I guess, walk in,
Uh-huh.
because everything's just exposed. It's not like you have to enter a room and have to get here and there. So that was like so crazy. And I was like, oh my God, this place
Wow.
is nuts. But
All
honestly, it was still like
right.
a really nice resort, but there were definitely moments where I was like, I hope nobody just like I was just like nervous somebody was gonna randomly walk into our hotel and then just claim it as their own because that seems to be the vibe there.
Yeah, apparently that's a thing now.
Apparently that's the
What?
thing. So that was weird.
That is insane.
Yeah. So
Okay. I mean,
yeah.
overall, would you recommend that hotel or would you steer clear of it if you were giving advice to someone else?
No, I would recommend it still. I mean, that part was very, very annoying. But for us, I mean, it took like 3 minutes to get a new key because we were right next to where their little place was to get it. It was like a little
Okay.
walk. Like we were very close to it. Obviously if we were like older and we didn't want to walk as much, we'd be pissed. But like we were right there. So it wasn't a big deal for us. I would still recommend the place even with all that drama because it was so beautiful. Like just the amenities that they had there. The kayaking was easy. Everything was right on site. Parking was easy. It was just very convenient. I love the heated pool. We spent so much time there and just enjoyed ourselves. So, and it was so close to town. It was only like 3 minute drive to get to the town. Oh, also, I do want to complain about something with Lake George,
Just
which you
like
need
George
to
in
look out
general?
for. Yes, the
Okay.
town. They have these parking meters, which we didn't have to worry about go to town. But the parking meters are so annoying because you have to pay for them, but they don't work all the time. So it's like you'll find, first of all, it's so hard to find parking. Finally, you'll find parking. He'll go and he'll put in quarters. It'll be like, oh, sorry, this is out of order. And Michael's like, I literally
Uh,
just spent $4 on parking and you're telling me it's out of order. So then we had to go to a different parking
oh
spot.
God. Who has
and
that many
and that
quarters?
happened because that's the thing. And like he also paid with his card, and it would still like some things would be like out of order. And I was like, oh, maybe it's just happens to be this weekend. And I looked at a review for a restaurant, and it was like very good restaurant, but the parking is ridiculous. I had to pay money. It wasn't working. And I was like, whatever. But then the waitress was like, oh no, you have to pay. Otherwise, they're gonna give you a ticket. So I think, and I'm just gonna say this right now, this is something Lake George does, and I think they're scamming tourists who come here who are just here for the weekend, who are just like, oh, it's not a big deal, like I'll just stay here, and they get tickets or they have to pay and move to another one. I don't think they're doing anything to fix this parking because like I said, that review was like over a year ago, and
Wow.
we had the same experience, and it really messed up a lot because we would spend like 10 minutes looking for parking and then the meter wasn't working. So the thing to overcome it is they do have that parking app, but it's like we're new, like we're here for a weekend, we're not gonna like download the app, do this whole big thing. So I would recommend, if you are driving there, just to download the app before you even get there, so just so you don't have to deal with it because they're all broken, I swear. It's a
Wow.
scam, it really is. I
It
didn't like
sounds
that.
like a scam.
It
And
is,
even
yeah.
if it's not, just get it fixed. Why?
They're not going to though, that's the thing. You know how
Like
much
people
money they
are
probably
paying
make on
taxes.
tickets.
Yeah,
But I
that's
bet
true.
most people don't even live at Lake George. Most people are tourists who are just there for the weekend, and it's like us, like, oh, this is annoying. Let's go to another one. Um,
Yes.
and like that person who complained, like they'll be gone by next weekend. It's not a big deal, but
Hmm.
it's not right what they do, and we were not happy about it because that happened like probably 4 different times. We had to switch parking meters, and then finally we just got
Wow.
the app, and then it was fine. But
Yeah, and you
yeah,
wouldn't even think to get the app. I feel like when I
yeah,
go places, I'm not like, oh, let me get the parking app. That never crosses my mind.
very inconvenient.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also I
Wow.
think the town of Lake George, they might have parking permits. So that's
Okay.
really only outdated and it's for like tourists. But I just think it's so wrong. So
Yeah,
shout out to Lake
that's
George, the town. Like y'all need to get that fixed because I'm calling you out and I don't like it.
that's messed up.
Yes. So we were
All right.
both pretty upset. But honestly, like we really did enjoy our time there.
That is a really good tip. I'm glad you brought that up because I'm
Yes.
sure a lot of people listening to this episode are probably planning on going there. And so now
Mm-hmm.
they know not
Yeah.
to not to mess with that.
Yeah. So I guess in summary, like if I would recommend Lake George to people,
Yes, I
I
was
think
just
it's a
about to ask you that.
yes,
One
yes.
step ahead of me.
Oh, sorry. I'll let you ask and then I'll answer.
Okay, so in summary, would you recommend this trip?
So I would recommend this trip. And I know the next question we normally ask is, if so, for who? So, it's hard because Michael and I are pretty easily pleased. We get annoyed at things when it's worth being annoyed, like that parking meter thing. But for the most part, we're very chill. We just like to be spontaneous, do day to day. We could see a lot of people getting annoyed, not you. Like, I think you're similar to us where you can make anything fun. I think if you're the type of personality that you don't make a lot of things fun and you don't like somewhat outdated things, it's not the trip for you. Like if you're more of like a 5-star resort kind of person and like, like very, very fancy, very nice, Lake George is not for you. If you're the type of person like, it's a little outdated here and there, but you're down to go kayaking, maybe parasailing, things on the water, maybe like a little pool that's like honestly, the resort kind of looked like straight out of the 70s, which
Really?
we didn't mind. It was nice, like a very nice resort from the 70s, but like it's most of Lake George is outdated.
Yes.
That's just the case of it. And if you go around the town too, it's like there was some like amusement park, not amusement park, like those little like kiddie mini golf things. And it's like,
Mhm.
ew, like I remember this as a kid and it always scared me. It's just a very old kind of town. And we did love it for what it was, but yeah, I think if you like, and I hear people like my cousins, they've gone there a whole bunch of times and they're like, I would not go back again. That was my childhood. It was so boring. Like we went every year. Like I know Michael was kind of like, oh, we should go every year. And I'm like, nah, I want to go different places every year. But I probably would go back there again when I have kids and we just want to do something fun for the weekend, have them go swimming. But I think you have to be a specific type of person who's kind of a little bit go with the flow, cool with not the newest high tech places,
Yeah.
and you'll find something to have fun with. But you have to be a certain type of person. You have to know yourself if you like this kind of stuff.
I think it's more of a wholesome family experience. It's
Yes,
not for the
in
person
nature.
that's, yes, it's
Yes,
who's just looking for quality time. It's not really
yeah,
for the person that's looking for the experience.
yeah. Like if you're super adventurous, like they have parasailing, they have this, but it's very like like they're doing the best that they can, but it's not,
Hmm.
those up
There's better
places.
places for that.
Yeah. And
Uh-huh.
it's somewhat pricey. Like, I mean, I'll just be fully transparent. We did spend like about 1,000 on the resort for the 3 days, which for
Uh-huh.
us we were good with because, it's like we don't have to pay for airfare, this, that. So it's not cheap. It's not cheap at all. It's pretty reasonably like expensive.
Yeah, it's not cheap because
Um,
it's popular. They do have a huge
yeah.
tourist income. It's a tourist town.
Yeah, I mean, like 10 out of 10, I would recommend. And if I had to compare it to Savannah, it was just as much fun. It really
Hmm.
was. It just in a different way. I said to him too, like I had just as much fun with you as I did in Savannah
But I think that's probably
overall.
because of the company,
That's what I
because
was
I,
saying. I think it's the company because I had so much fun with you when we went to Lake George in the winter and nothing was open.
yes. Yeah, I think it's just the company because I think if you were a different person going to those two places, having
Mm,
those two very different experiences, I don't know if you'd feel the same way or if Michael wasn't there or if I wasn't there. I think it's very
exactly.
situational.
Yeah, I think it's a situational place that I think you have to be like a specific chill person to go with. And it's nothing wrong if you're not. Like if you want something nicer, go ahead. But like it's just,
It's
you know,
not for everyone.
yeah, like I feel like it's the
Mm.
type of place that if my brother and his fiance went, they'd be like,
Yeah, it's not their thing.
like they like to go away. They go to Ocean City, Cape May, by the beach. But I think they're not like as like go with the flow. Like my fiance is very much not fiance, my sister-in-law, future sister-in-law, is a little bit more like I mean, like when she went to Savannah, she's like this, and this booking, and this booking, and this. Then she likes the nice things, and
Yes.
like that's she's a different personality than me. Whereas I'm just kind of like she literally was like, "How did you guys not do a ghost tour? You went to Savannah," and Michael and I are like, "We didn't want to." So
Yeah.
she's a little bit more like she likes the nicer things. So for someone
Yes.
like that, I would not recommend this place.
Okay, yeah, I could definitely see that from my experience. I mean, I know my summer experience with it is pretty limited considering it was so long ago. And
Hmm.
then when we were there, nothing was open, but I could definitely see what you're saying.
Yeah, but I mean, we had so much fun, so I'm happy we went. But I don't know, I'm kind of good not going again. Which I
Yeah,
mean, I'm good not going into most places, but it like I don't know. I'm
and you
like
had your
if you
time there.
wanted to go with me in the summer, I'd be like, okay, but maybe let's also consider maybe going somewhere else because
I
it's not you
think
have to go.
if I had literally nothing to do and I don't know, I feel like there wouldn't be a situation where I would bring up, let's go to Lake George.
Yeah. And I
Because
think you'd be good in doing that.
even if I had nothing to do, like if every single other place in the world was closed, I'd say,
Yeah.
okay, let's go to Lake George. I think that
Yeah.
would be the only situation. Or if we were like near
Yeah.
it, but I don't know.
I think it was perfect for Michael and I for the time that we went on for this point in our lives. Like, I'm very happy that we went. There was no other place that I would have wanted to go. But yes, that's kind of just how I feel about it in summary.
Yeah, I think it was a really nice relationship trip for you guys, just bonding and
Yeah.
having fun together, just a really nice couples trip. But yeah, like you said, it's not for everyone. It's not the kind of place that you really keep going back to unless you're really into those kind of things, or maybe you have a house there. It's just, I don't know, for me, it's definitely not that kind of place. But I
Yeah.
think it is a nice, quick weekend thing, especially if you're in that area. Obviously, it's not a quick thing if you don't live in that area. And if you
Yeah.
don't live in that area, how would you recommend it to someone that would have to travel far for it?
Honestly, if you're from any other state that's not the tri-state area, I would not recommend it. Like if you were from, I don't know, like South Carolina, or if you were from like Midwest or California, I would be like, there's no. But it for somebody who wants to get away and go to the city, go to the country from the city, like if you lived in like Bronx or Brooklyn or
Hmm.
100% go. Like it's like a nice nature place. It's better than Hamptons where there's not as much water activity and it's very expensive. And so I think for New Yorkers and Connecticut, those kind of people, Jersey, I would definitely recommend it. But if you're traveling really far, like I think if it takes you longer than 8 hours to get there, absolutely not. Do not go to Lake George.
Yeah, I have to agree from my limited experience with Lake George. I would
Yeah.
probably say the same thing. I would only say if you're traveling very far and you want to do Lake George, fine, but make sure you have a lot of other plans. Don't make that your only thing you're doing.
Yeah. Like maybe stop by New York City and I don't know, do something fun besides that, or go somewhere in Canada. I think Canada's not that far from Lake George, right?
Yeah, I don't know how
Make
far. I
more
think
of a
it's like
trip.
halfway. Yeah.
Because I was even saying to Michael, like, I think the time that we went was perfect. I don't know if anybody stays like a whole week there, which I assume they do if they're like a family. I was like, we would be so bored if we had another day here. Like, I'm
I
sure
think
we'd have fun, but ugh.
that would be a lot. How long were we there for? Probably the same amount of
I
time
think it
you
was
and
like the same amount of
Michael.
time, like
Yeah,
3 days or so.
I think that was plenty.
Yeah.
I mean, I know
So
not too much was open when we were there, but even just hearing your experience, because I've had similar vacations to that, I wouldn't stay longer.
yeah, I just think for us and for who we are and what we wanted, it was the perfect trip. But yeah, I mean, it's like George, it is what it is. I
Mhm.
feel like you never hear like, oh my God, you have to go there. It's just kind of like, it's nice.
Yeah. I feel like every New Yorker has already been there anyways.
Yeah.
So nobody really says that to each other because it's all just an understanding. We've all been there. We all agree it's fun, but it's
Yeah.
not. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah, everybody holds like similar opinions about it.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's obsessed with it. I'm yet to meet someone who is crazy over it, but it is a very fun getaway.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So we're not saying don't go, but
Oh no,
just,
I'd say like I said, go if like the criteria meets like well how we said, like if you vibe with that, then go.
yes, exactly.
Yes.
Just make sure your expectations are where they should be, which brings me to my next question. Did the trip meet your expectations?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because I went into it same energy that I go in with everything. Like I just want to do water activities. I want to have fun with Michael, just a chill time, food, coffee, chilling,
Uh-huh.
relaxing. That is exactly what we got. Really no intense drama besides the parking and some of the hotel keys. So we were pretty lucky with that. It rained a little bit. We were happy about it. So it
Hmm.
completely met like it was weird. It was like everything that I wanted to do and figure it would be like it was, and I was happy.
Well, especially because you've already been there, so you kind of knew what to expect
Yes.
and could mold it better to what you wanted easier because you already knew what was there.
That's true. And like we went in the winter, so it's just nice seeing things open. Yeah, it was nice.
Hmm. So my next question would be if you went back, what would you do differently? But I don't even know if this is a good question to ask at this point because you said you wouldn't go back.
I would probably just do the same things, but I wouldn't be happy about it because it wouldn't be for the first time.
Yeah.
So I think it wouldn't meet my expectations the second time. I mean, one thing I low-key wanted to do, but I didn't really care that I wouldn't do because actually Michael didn't want to do it, was the parasailing. So that's where like you're tied to the back of a boat, like on a little like, swing kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you just see the view. Like I feel like that, like I feel like if me and you were ever gonna go there, which we're not, but if we did, I would totally do parasailing because I think that's like such an experience.
Well,
And I
we could
probably
do
would
that
have gone to
anywhere,
more
you know?
dinner. We could
Yeah.
do parasailing. Maybe I'm sure they have it in Florida.
Oh, definitely. 100% they have it here. I'd say anywhere with water, they probably have it.
So that's fine. I mean, that's the one thing.
Yeah.
I really don't want to go back. I mean, if we had kids, I probably would go back. My kids were a little bit older and we wanted to like do fun like water stuff and just get away. I probably would, and it was easy. But me and my life right now, just like being who I am in my 20s, nah.
Yeah. It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I do feel the same way. I would not ever really try to actively go back. Maybe if I, well, I'm not going to say if I have kids. When I have kids, I'm literally there's a child inside of me. When
Yes.
I have kids, maybe. But I also think just there's so many things that I want to do and see that the kid can also have fun with as well that are not Lake George.
Yeah, that's what I was saying too. Because like when Michael was like, "Oh, we could go back here every year with our kids," and I'm like, "Well, don't you want to do fun things? Like, don't you want to do things that are new for you as well?" Like, I'm
Yes,
sorry, I do not want to always cater to my kid just because it's a kid-friendly place. Like, I want to bring my kid to Greece, and they're gonna behave. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm bringing them around the world.
there's ways to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, like
And
just make sure
you
your kid
don't
behaves. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to tailor the trip to the kid and just be like,
Yeah,
all right, well, they're gonna have fun and I'm not. I mean,
yeah, I don't want to live like that.
no, I mean, not to say that Lake George is one of those places, but if you've already been there, then yes, you want to kind of try to. And if your kid ever wants to go to Lake George, I mean, they could figure it out themselves. I
Why
mean,
would they?
I
I'm
don't
a
know.
3-year-old, mommy.
I
I've
hear
heard of this place
I
called
was
Lake
listening to your podcast.
I would rather just go to Disney World with them and I would have fun there. And it's a kid, like, I don't know. I want to just do everything and just that's how I grew up.
Yeah,
I went to Ireland and I'm sorry, my parents went to like adult things and I had to go with them and I had to deal with it. So my kids are going to have fun wherever we
yeah.
go.
If they could drag you around Ireland when you're a kid, then who's to say you can't
Yes.
drag your kid around Greece and wherever you want to go with your kid? I
I'm sure
mean,
they're going to love it. I don't care for
yeah.
them. It's not always about them. Like
And
I don't
even
have
if
to cater to
they
them.
don't have to go back when they're older. Then they could say, I hate Greece. I'm just going to go to Lake George instead. I mean, that's their thing,
Can you imagine?
right? What a weird kid. That is no child of mine.
No. Yeah, so I don't know. Anything else to add about the trip before we do the trivia question?
No, I think that's all that, I mean, there's only so much to talk about Lake George, but I think you gave us a really good overview of the trip and advice and what to do, what not to do. I think it was a
Yeah.
very good talk.
Yeah, we had fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good trip.
Yes.
Yes.
Solid 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Thank you for talking about that today.
Thank you for
We've all
having
been,
me.
as always.
Yes.
I know we've all
But
been patiently awaiting you to go on this trip and come back. And then I think we have to do that Italy Europe cruise episode. And also, I'm going on my cruise in about 2 weeks.
oh
So we can
yes,
have
can't
an
wait to hear
episode on
about
that.
that. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
It is sort of similar to the cruise you and I did a few years back in 2019 when we went to
Mm,
Mexico. We're going to the same places in Mexico. We're going to a private island in the Bahamas, and we're going to Honduras, which is totally new to me.
yeah.
So I think it'll be interesting because I'm also
Yeah.
doing different things in Mexico than you and I did. So it'll be something to talk about for sure.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
Yes. Very excited for that. Finally going away after so long.
Yes.
But
Very good.
okay, I think we're ready for our trivia question.
Yes. So the question is, what is the nickname often given to Lake George in New York, USA, due to its crystal clear waters and stunning beauty?
Okay, yeah, so I have no idea. But so we could just kind of, I don't know if I should guess and just get it wrong, or if you should give me a hint and then I'm just
Let's
not
do
gonna get
both.
the
Guess
point.
it, and then if you're really off, I'll give you a hint.
Okay. I'm trying to like make something up. I can't even because I'm trying to think. You said it's named after its waters and what else?
Stunning beauty.
Stunning beauty. I truly have no idea. I can't even BS
Okay,
this.
I'll give you a hint.
Yeah.
And then I
Okay.
think you're gonna get it. You're gonna at
Really?
least be close. Yes. Think royalty.
Nope. No, I still have no idea.
Okay, should I just say it?
Yeah, just say it.
Okay, so the answer is Queen of American Lakes.
I would have never got that.
And it's referred to its nickname due to its scenic charm and majesty, which I do get. Like it's just such a beautiful lake, and the mountains are surrounding it. And I just felt so like connected and refreshed after being at work. And it was just a really good start to summer.
I wonder what the king of the American Lakes is.
Ooh,
Is there a king or is there just a queen?
I don't
Let's
know.
see.
Good question.
I'm curious. I wonder because I wonder how we got that name. If there's a queen, there must be a king. Let's
Mm.
see. King of American Lakes. Nope, there's just a queen.
Okay.
Interesting.
Mm.
Oh,
All right.
I mean, I do understand why I got that name. It really is a beautiful lake. It is a queen.
Yes.
Yeah. Except
Yep.
it's called George, so wouldn't you think it would be King? I don't know. I'm thinking too much into
It's after King George.
King George. Okay, so King and Queen right there. All right.
Yeah.
I guess
So
I'll give it to them.
yeah.
Makes
Yeah.
makes sense.
Very
I
good.
guess.
All right.
That's interesting though.
Yeah, I thought it was a cute thing. It related to Lake George. I mean, I don't think there's any like interesting trivia questions about Lake George besides that one.
I don't
So
think there's anything quite interesting about Lake George, just a lake and fun things there. But
yeah,
so there's nothing really, yeah,
yeah,
that's about as interesting as it gets.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'm sure if you went to Fort William Henry, it'd be somewhat interesting. I know my parents went when they were there, but
I am not so much into forts. I don't know. I mean, I went to forts in Puerto Rico, and I mean, I've been to forts here and there, but the reason we went to the forts in Puerto Rico was because they were so beautiful and like they took up so much land and they were overlooking the water. It's a very different concept than I think forts that are just in the middle of New York. I think
yeah,
those are more for people that like history, as opposed to the ones I saw in Puerto Rico that are more for people that, I mean, also for people that like history, but also for people that like the landscape of it. So I think I'm just not a fort girl.
yeah. I'm not really a Fort girl either, but we were both kind of like, there's only so much to do here. Like, do you want to go and
Yeah.
explore like nature and see this? But alas, I had lady problems, so I had
Yes.
to rush back to the. I was about to say to the house. You know who else says house?
Oh, he says that too.
And
Oh,
he said it without me
why?
because I was like trying to watch myself because I know you get annoyed. So I'm like, let me not say house. And he said it. So I was like, we're both just gonna say it this whole trip. We always kept on saying home, home,
Oh
home.
God. And now you're gonna start doing that like crazy
Yes.
because there's no one stopping you. Yeah, I don't think we've ever mentioned that on the podcast, but Katie always calls the hotel home. And
It
she's
is
like,
a home. Home is where the heart is.
I guess, but it's not.
But like that's our home base.
I always just get so thrown off whenever you say like, "Oh, want to go home now?" I'm like, "What do you mean?"
But it's so funny because he was saying it and I just understood it. I was like, yes, it's time to go home.
He's speaking your
He's like,
language.
let's get you home. And I was like, yes, time to go home. It's so funny.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are made for each other.
Yes.
That's a
So
red flag
funny.
to me. If I was with him and he said that to me, I'd be like, "Yeah, let's go home because we're breaking up."
Oh my God. And I'm like, let's go home. Let's get married there.
Yeah, very different.
So funny.
All right, so I guess that's all for today's episode. I guess I should give my
Spiel.
spiel.
Mhm.
Yes, which I do not have memorized. I have to open it in my book, which I have not turned to the page because I am irresponsible. Here is the page. I totally forgot about it. I was ready to just end the episode. Okay, so if you want to find us online, you can go to www.runwaysandbyways.com. You could, on runwaysandbyways.com, you could sign up for the budget travel planner if you need help planning out your budget, because like Katie said, Lake George can be a little pricey. So if you do want to go to Lake George or really any trip, you could sign up for the budget travel planner. Just give me your name and email address, and that will be delivered straight into your inbox. And automatically, you'll also be signed up for the newsletter. So you'll be sent out notifications when I post a new blog post. if you want specific notifications for when the podcast episodes come out, you can click on the podcast tab of runwaysandbyways.com. And same thing, pop in your name and email address, and you'll get a notification every single time we post an episode. We do also have travel planning services. We have Choose My Destination, where we'll choose a destination for you based on your priorities. We have travel recommendations and travel advice. So if you need any of that, you can go to runwaysandbyways.com. Social media, you could find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and Pinterest. All of those are at Runways and Byways, except for Twitter, that is at Runways and Byways. And we also do have a new social media. It's kind of like Twitter. I honestly have not worked with it too much yet, but it is called Threads, and it's through Instagram. I know it's been blowing up. I'm sure all of you know what it is except me. But we do have Threads also, and that is also at Runways and Byways. And for podcast availability, we are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor and Spotify for podcasters, YouTube, and Google Podcasts. Okay. That is always a mouthful, but that is it all.
Yes.
That is all. I can't talk today. That is all. Been like combining all my words today. Okay. So, yes, we've told you several times what our next episode will most likely be. Maybe Italy, maybe my cruise, maybe, I don't know, maybe something else. We like to throw curveballs. So
Yes.
just stick around. Those episodes are coming up. And Katie, anything to say before we go?
No, I'm just happy to be here.
All right, as usual. Okay, so we will see you next time on the next episode of the Runways and Byways Travel Podcast. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Whether your plane is taking off from the runway
Or you're driving down a byway,
we'll be your guides
through it all.